Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now.
That's
See
right.
a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy.
Real slick.
I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got...
Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. Also, thanks to those of you tuned in on the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur TV show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your Daily Vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel or unsubscribe. But if you do subscribe, be sure to click the notification bell, click the word all. And also make sure you subscribe to my website, QueenAhmadiyyahShakur.com, so that you'll be added to my email list. Don't forget you can follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur. You can also follow me on TikTok at Dr. A. Shakur. You can follow the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur fan page on Instagram and Twitter for the latest updates. Okay, so let's get into it. Greta is in the house. Timber Dan. All right, Aeon's here. Juju, G from the land. All right, shout out to my moderators. Vince, I am from the UK. Kathy B. Howard is in the house. That Crazy Beach Aries, Mr. Hotel, Mommy. Gina Lane, Reggie. Okay, I see y'all. M. Flenoy, Cherokee Descendant Dale, Glamour Diva, Deronda, Filmabelle. I think I said you already. Eric Ford, Miss Eby. Okay. James is in the house. Softening Love, Cancer 2184. Let's get ready to get black into it, beloveds. Shout out to everyone in the chat and everyone tuned into the Queen. Okay, so let's get it started. Let's get it started. Hey, Hundia, King SB, Claudette, Carl Kilcrease. The group home goddess is black. All right, Tony Queen, I see you. So listen to this. Listen to this. Let's talk about this daycare owner. Now, you all may remember some months ago, I reported this story about a daycare owner who actually shot her husband because she heard that he was doing inappropriate things with people's children. Some of the parents had called her and complained about this. And so she ended up shooting him. Now, she says that she feared for her life and all of that, but she has recently pleaded guilty. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this this clip. Hey, King Lejeune. Okay, so here we go. Likes up, beloveds.
Stressed out. I'm trying to balance all that comes with being a content creator. From
10:30 right now on this Monday night, the woman accused of shooting her husband in a D.C. hotel room over the summer is pleading guilty.
Shanquella Weems, a Maryland daycare owner, shot her husband after finding out from the parents that he was allegedly molesting children. Fox 5's Nada Sayubonso in the newsroom tonight with the latest. Nada?
Jim and Marina, good evening. Today, inside a D.C. courtroom, Shanquella Weems pleaded guilty to aggravated assault and carrying a firearm in D.C. without a license. Now, back in July, we reported that Weems drove to the Mandarin Oriental, which is now known as the Salamander Hotel, to confront her husband, 57-year-old James Weems, who was staying there. Now, according to court documents, Shanquella runs a daycare in Owings Mills, Maryland. We're told parents of the kids at the daycare called Weems, accusing her husband, James, of molesting their children. While Weems wanted answers, so she went to his hotel room. We're told some kind of altercation took place before she shot her husband twice, sending him to the hospital. When police arrived to the scene, Weems told them it was self-defense. Detectives did find another gun in a safe that belonged to James Weems, a retired Marine and Baltimore police officer. Shanquella's attorney, Tony Garcia, says she takes accountability for bringing a loaded gun into D.C. without a proper permit, but she did fear that her life was in danger.
This was not an attempted murder. This was not something that was maliciously planned. This woman, the parents of these children came to her asking her about her husband, and this was an extremely highly emotional, toxic moment that she was going through. And so, yes, we're not going to get out of this unscathed, but we do feel as though she is an absolutely good person and was put in a horrible situation.
Now, Garcia says that Weems is in good spirits and is getting a lot of support from family and other female inmates. When it comes to James Weems, back in August, he was arrested on 13 charges, including third-degree sex offenses and sexual abuse of a minor. After his arrest, Fox 5 later found out that CPS did shut down the daycare several days before the shooting. Now, Shanquella Weems' next court date is on February 23rd for sentencing. Back to you guys.
What do you want?
Oh, well. So you all heard it. Now, mind you, there was obviously some allegations before. Miss Hotel said she did what had to be done. That Crazy Beach area said he got what he deserved. Oh, goon. You all are something else. Pure Black said, shoot him again. What is wrong with you all? Now, you all know violence is not the answer. All right? You all know violence is not the answer. I think the Queen did this story or a similar one before. No, Vince, I absolutely did do this story, but this is just an update so that we find out what her plea was, beloved. I absolutely did do this prior. Do you classify her as a vigilante queen? Oh, of course. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, he was wrong. Yes, he was wrong if he did it. Infamous Kim says sometimes violence is the answer. Y'all know I know sometimes violence is the answer. Sit down somewhere. I have to be politically correct. That's all I'm saying. I mean, of course, I wouldn't say that I would have done the same thing. Okay. Hold on. She should have severed off his. Oh, y'all are something else. Y'all are something else. And this is the comment I was looking for. Queen, I left a comment on that video. They had Estelle Getty say that about the Jewish people on the Golden Girls. It was Jewish herself. She was Jewish herself. They knew what they were doing. Oh, okay. So she was one of them. Okay. But nevertheless, even still, even if she is or was, the fact that she said it, there should not be any problem when someone else says the same thing then. That's all the more reason. If one of them said it, there should definitely not be an issue when someone else says it. All right? I'm just saying. So anyway, I want to tell you all this story. Hold on. Hold on. This man, I got to pull his picture up. Okay, let me see if I can pull this man's picture up real quick. Yeah, there he is, looking all crazy. So apparently, beloveds, some people were playing a game and got a little bit too serious. Let me send that to my. Hold on, I'm trying to make an overlay real quick. Just bear with me. I know I should have done this before I got started, but I just forgot. So I can add this man's face on here when I tell you all what this fool did. Some people have no sense at all. And that's just the facts. Hold on, I'm almost done. Now let me just download it real quick. Okay, so with that all being said, okay, here we go. Okay, so basically, this fool right here on the screen, as you can see, was playing Monopoly with his family. And hold on. He was playing Monopoly with his family and got so upset that he started shooting. So let me pull this up because this is all crazy. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Here it is right here. Now, this happened in Oklahoma. They said, real life go to jail card. Okay. Oklahoma man arrested after family game of Monopoly turned violent when he got angry and allegedly shot at his stepsister and stepfather. Now, I'm going to tell y'all like this. This was crazy to me because who stole Boardwalk from him since 1969. Listen, this was funny to me. Not funny, but it was just, well, it was kind of funny. But not that he was shooting, but that someone would get that angry. I know black folks take spades serious, but Monopoly, well, here's the thing. I take all games very seriously because I'm always trying to win. I'm very competitive. And so with that all being said, the reason I thought this was crazy is because we were all playing Monopoly at my house one day. And then so someone was like, Queen, you're just taking this too serious. I'm going to quit playing. And I said, no, you don't get to quit playing because you're losing. And I am supposed to take it serious. It's a game. You want to win, right? So I feel like you're supposed to take games seriously. I'm sorry. I'll say what now? Was alcohol involved? Are you a sore loser, Queen? Well, I could be if I lose, right? I guess if I lost, I would be. But I never lose, beloved. You see, I always win because I take things very seriously. So I don't like to lose. I don't like to lose. All right. I don't like to lose, especially if I'm playing spades. All right. Don't even think about it. Queen will banish you to the shadow realm. So let's talk about what this crazy man did, okay? So they say there was no collecting $200 for one Oklahoma man who went directly to jail after firing a gun at his family members during a game of Monopoly on Saturday. John Ronald Dwayne Armstrong was arrested in Tulsa, Oklahoma after a round of the game erupted into an argument with a table and the game's board being flipped in the process right before he allegedly chased his stepsister and stepfather down the street while pointing a gun at them. How mad was he? Officers with the Tulsa Police Department were called to the home near East Admiral Place and North Mingo Road around 6:30 p.m. for reports of gunshots, according to KTUL. Now, upon arrival, the officers learned that the family members had been drinking, so alcohol was involved. When the game turned violent, with Armstrong and his stepsister getting into a fight. The woman who placed the call to the police told dispatch officers that Armstrong was her stepbrother and he had chased them down the street. The chase began after the Monopoly board as well as other furniture was flipped over during the argument. Now, Armstrong sustained a cut on his head, which is when he reportedly pulled out his weapon. It escalated quickly from family game night to furniture being turned over and game pieces all over the floor. This is what the Tulsa Police Department officer Danny Bean said. At some point, Armstrong and his stepfather took the argument outside, which is when he began to chase the man and his stepdaughter down the street, or his stepsister down the street. Now, as he was chasing the pair, he allegedly pointed the gun at them. Armstrong told police he fired a single shot at the ground. He said that he was aiming for the ground when he shot at them, but we came close to having a homicide over a game of Monopoly. This is also sad. What caused the heated disagreement in the first place is unknown. We don't know if it was about game pieces, play money, real money, but something surely set him off. The man was arrested immediately after officers arrived at the scene. There are no get out of free jail cards here, and we put the cuffs on him and took him to jail. Armstrong was booked into the Tulsa County Jail on the count of assault with a deadly weapon. When he pulled the trigger, that's when, hold on, these nefarious pop-ups. This is not even funny. They said when he pulled the trigger, that's when the family game night turned into a felony. His bond was set at $25,000, and he has since bonded out after the Saturday incident. The gun used by Armstrong was not immediately recovered. However, officials say they believe the man may have hidden it in his house before his surrender. Armstrong is next due back in court on December the 2nd. This is all crazy. All this over a game of Monopoly. I mean, I've never even gotten that upset over a game of spades. But you know what? You should never mix alcohol in games, specifically spades. I'm just saying that is never a good idea as far as I'm concerned. Luckily, no one got injured. Now let's talk about Sam Brinton. You all remember good old Sam Brinton, don't you? Sam Brinton, for those of you who forgot, he's Biden's non-binary nuclear official. Well, guess what? He's charged with stealing a woman's luggage at the airport. He's charged with stealing a woman's luggage at the airport. So they say Sam Brinton, a senior Energy Department official, was charged with stealing the traveler's luggage in the Minneapolis airport in September, shortly before quietly taking a leave of absence. Brinton, who serves as the DOE's Deputy Assistant Secretary for Spent Fuel and Waste Disposition, allegedly took a Vera Bradley suitcase worth $2,325 from the luggage carousel at the Minneapolis-St. Paul Airport on September the 16th. Now, this is according to a criminal complaint filed on October the 26th in Minnesota State Court and obtained by Fox News Digital. Brinton had traveled from Washington, D.C. to MSP that day. Here's the thing. With all that money that he has to be making, why would he be stealing? I have so many questions. Now, after the suitcase's owner alerted police, officers reviewed video surveillance of the carousel and identified Brinton taking the luggage before removing its tag, identifying the owner. Wow. So he just straight up stole it. It wasn't an accident, didn't pick it up by mistake. He literally stole it on purpose and took off the person's name, the tag with the name on it. So law enforcement observed Brenton using the luggage during at least 2 other trips to Washington, D.C. on September the 8th and the 9th of October. They say then, I believe that was, hold on, let me double check, September the 18th and the 9th of October. Now then on October 9th, Brenton denied stealing anything when a police officer asked him, called him to discuss the incident. Brenton confirmed still possessing the suitcase. Well, if you didn't steal it, Brenton, how did you come by it? I'm curious. Can't trust anybody these days, apparently. So they say, if I had taken, this is what he says, if I had taken the wrong bag, I'm happy to return it, but I don't have any clothes for any other, for another individual. That was my clothes when I opened the bag. 2 hours after the phone call, Brenton called the officer back and apologized for not being completely honest. Lord have mercy, just telling lie after lie. Now, he should have known when the police called him that he should have just come clean immediately. I mean, at the end of the day, of course, they have surveillance footage. How did he not think of that? But Brenton said it was a mistake and blamed being tired for taking the wrong bag at the carousel. Okay, Brenton, you know what? If someone was tired, I would imagine they probably could take the wrong bag, because that's exactly what I thought likely happened in the first place. But Brenton, how did you not realize after having this bag for at least a month that it was not yours? And also, if you took the wrong bag, then you also lied when you said that your clothes were in it when you opened it. And furthermore, how did he, or why would he have taken the tag off if it was an accident? So like I said, he purposely stole it. Black Pearl said, lock him up. Well, I'm wondering if Biden's going to fire him. That's what I want to know, because he should be fired for this. So anyway, goes on to say, defendant said that when he opened the bag at the hotel, or when they, I'm sorry, his pronouns, I don't want to offend anybody by saying the wrong pronouns. Defendant said that when they opened the bag at the hotel, they realized it was not theirs, according to the court filings. Now, mind you, this is only one person, but I'm using his pronouns as they're using. Okay, pay attention. Defendant got nervous that people would think they stole the bag and did not know what to do. Defendant stated they left the clothes from the bag inside the drawers in the hotel room. Make it all make sense. He knows darn well he probably stole those clothes too. And here's the thing. Why would you think that someone would assume you stole it if you actually accidentally picked it up? You could have simply gone back to the airport, right, and returned it when you got to the hotel and realized you had the wrong bag. If it was an accident, you could have just simply taken it back. But no, he stole it and thought he was going to get away with it. That's what he did. He didn't leave those clothes in no airport, because somebody with that expensive type of luggage clearly had expensive clothes in there too. And no telling what else. So then Brenton was ultimately charged with felony theft of a movable property without consent, a charge that could result in a 5-year sentence, a $10,000 fine, or both. Now, Minnesota-based outlet Alpha News first reported the charges against Brenton on Monday. Brenton was placed on leave about a month ago, and another official was named as a replacement in the interim earlier this month, according to the Exchange Monitor, which tracks government hires. The DOE originally didn't explain why Brenton took a leave at the time. They say Sam Brenton is on leave from the DOE, and Dr. Kim Petrie is performing the duties of Deputy Assistant Secretary of Spent Fuel and Waste Disposition. This is what a DOE spokesperson said to Fox Digital in a statement. Now, in June, Brenton made headlines after assuming the position in the DOE's Office of Nuclear Energy as one of the government's first ever non-binary officials. They say there's been a lot of people who are quite upset that don't think I am quite as qualified as others. This is what Brenton said. I respond with multiple graduate degrees from MIT, a decade of working in nuclear policy, and the strongest enthusiasm for working in nuclear waste out of anybody. His lawyer didn't return any requests for comments. Well, Brenton, you may have those degrees, but you also now The queen is so lit. Thank you, beloved. Now you have some more degrees, all right? A degree for the penitentiary, where you just might get sent. You all are terrible. But is this the look of a professional? Are you talking about his clothing appearance or the fact that he stole? I'm just saying the fact that he stole that luggage, honey, that's not looking like a professional at all. All I'm saying, clearly nefarious. Now let's talk about Brett Favre, the welfare queen himself. So he's trying to weasel his way out of this lawsuit. Pay attention. And so here's what they say. They say Brett Favre asked to be dismissed from Mississippi welfare lawsuit. So retired NFL quarterback Brett Favre is asking to be removed from a lawsuit by the state of Mississippi that seeks to recover millions of dollars in misspent welfare money that was intended to help people in some of the poorest people in the U.S. An attorney for Favre filed papers on Monday saying the Mississippi Department of Human Services groundlessly and irresponsibly seeks to blame him, Favre that is, for its own grossly improper and unlawful handling of welfare funds and its own failure to properly monitor and audit how organizations use that money. They say including Favre in the lawsuit has had the intended effect. It has distracted national media attention to this case. I'm sorry, it has attracted national media attention to the case. Well, here's the thing. How is he not supposed to be involved when we had the text messages where he was talking to that lady? What's her name? Nancy New? Remember that? And her son, Zachary New? We saw the text messages. I showed them to you. So he absolutely knew what was going on. He can sit there and play dumb all he wants. And so they go on to say that Hirschman wrote that the lawsuit focuses on the welfare agency's false insinuations concerning Favre's supposed involvement rather than one agency, which in fact is responsible for allowing this scandal to even occur. It was not immediately clear just how soon the criminal charges would be brought, if any. They say it also was not immediately clear how soon Hinds County Circuit Court Judge Faye Peterson might consider the request. Favre is not facing criminal charges at the moment, but he is among more than 36 people or companies being sued by the Mississippi Department of Human Services as they seek to recover a portion of the money misspent in the state's largest ever public corruption case. The department filed the lawsuit in May, saying the defendants, pop-ups. Now they say they filed this in May, saying that the defendants squandered more than $20 million from the temporary assistance for needy families anti-poverty program. This is all just a shame. So anyway, they say Favre has repaid $1.1 million that he received for speaking fees from the Mississippi Community Education Center, a nonprofit group that spent TANF money with approval from the Department of Human Services. But State Auditor Shad White said on Monday that Favre still owes $228,000 in interest. White's office has investigated the welfare spending, and in response to questions Monday about Favre seeking to be dismissed from the civil lawsuit, White told the Associated Press, he said every party in the civil case is free to make their arguments that they would like to make, and I'm not going to comment on them. The court system can see the case through, and the judge can determine who owes what back. So he needs to sit down somewhere. What do y'all think about it? And then here's the thing. They say a former Department of Human Services Director, John Davis, already pleaded guilty in September to federal and state charges tied to the welfare misspending. The director of the Mississippi Community Education Center, Nancy New, pleaded guilty in April to charges of misspending the welfare money, as did her son, Zachary New, who helped run the center. Like Davis, they await sentencing and have agreed to testify against others. Well, I hope they testify against Brett Favre, because he was in those text messages. And so he absolutely knew what was going on. That's all I'm saying. He's just as guilty as they are, as far as I'm concerned. Now, in a September 12th court filing in the civil lawsuit, an attorney for the Mississippi Community Education Center released several text messages about $5 million in that welfare money that went toward a volleyball facility that Favre was seeking to get built to his at his alma mater, the University of Southern Mississippi, where his daughter was playing the sport. Remember all this? The messages were between Nancy New and Favre, between Favre and former Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant, and between Bryant and New. So we already know he's guilty, honey. They need to sit down somewhere. He needs to have to pay back every dime that he misspent. And I like how they're using the term misspent because really they stole that money. That's what they really did. I want y'all to pay attention to how they try to make it sound like it's not so bad. They try to clean it all up. The money was misspent. No, the money was stolen. Say what now? That money was stolen. And Brett Favre wanted to use it to pay for the gymnasium, right? For the volleyball center over there at Southern Mississippi, where his daughter goes to school, just like they said. Please sit down somewhere. King Legine says semantics. Yes, absolutely. That's what it is. They're just playing with semantics. Claudette says exactly, Queen. Thank you, beloved. Okay. Yeah, misspending isn't the same as stealing. It absolutely isn't. Misspending could mean that you brought things that didn't need to be bought, or you bought things that you were not told to purchase and things like that. Absolutely. But that's not, never heard of that word, Queen. Okay. But that's what they did. Kenyatta said, right, Queen. His ace stole it. Yes, he absolutely stole it. That's what he did. So now let's talk about T.S. Madison. I heard some audio of T.S. Madison going in on Black women, and it was also egregious the stuff she was saying. Now, I actually have always liked T.S. Madison. Terry Hinn said it sounds like money laundering. Honey, it could have been. But so let me say this. I've always liked T.S. Madison when she was on the Queen's Court with Kaya and all that. But T.S. Madison rubbed me the wrong way. When I heard how she was talking about Black women and going all hard in the paint and saying you Black HOESs and all that stuff. Honey, I have a problem with that, T.S. Madison, if you're watching. All right, I don't like it one bit. Now, T.S. Madison was all upset, butthurt, and bent out of shape, apparently, because some people were saying that in the Shanquella Robinson case, they were saying that the people who beat her were transgender. They were saying at least one of them was. Now, I didn't really go too far into that topic because I don't know if they're transgender or not. I did mention that it was a rumor in the beginning, and I also told you all that maybe that's why the Mexican authorities put in the police report that it was femicide. So T.S. Madison is trying to imply, or she's already implied, that Black women are just trying to blame this on a trans person because Black women are, transphobic. That's what T.S. Madison said. Okay. And she was calling Black women all kinds of bees and hoes and all that stuff. I really don't appreciate it. Like I said, she was just giving a little too much aggressive, hostile, mad, butthurt energy for me. I have a problem with how she was talking. I have a problem because it's not that Black women are transphobic. It sounded like the way she was talking sounded like she had a problem with Black women. Tony Quinn said, are you serious? I'm very serious. Do y'all want to hear it? Let me let y'all hear it. I got to be careful because at the end of the day, she was saying a whole lot of vulgarities and I don't want to play all of that. But I'm going to let y'all hear a clip because she was going hard in the paint, honey. And I didn't like it. I was not here for it at all. Okay, I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm going to tell you that right now. I was not here for it at all. And y'all know I'm friends with LGBTQ community, honey. So she needs to sit down somewhere. I didn't like it one bit. Now, and mind you, the person who sent me this is LGBTQ. So obviously they had a problem with it too. So that's all I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to say, honey. You said, is she transgender? Yes. Yes, T.S. Madison is transgender. That's why she's mad. Mr. Hotel said T.S. Madison can miss him with it. Exactly. All right. Now, she went too far, honey. I'm not with that. I am not with all the foolishness, honey. She was talking a little too slick for me, as far as I'm concerned. So let's get into it. Let me pull up these receipts. And like I said, I'm not going to play the whole thing because she was going in hard in the paint. That's what she was clearly doing, honey.
or whatever. We're going to persecute that bitch to the floor. I don't think that we're above that. But no, absolutely. Came to the door on you pussy ass motherfucking hoes naked, bitch.
Y'all heard that? She already cursing too much, honey. She's already cursing much too much. But hold on.
You said, how do I know that I wasn't there? So when you read the story, how many people were included? Shanquella, how many people were included in there? How many people, like when you read the list of it? So how many people were there? Right. How many people were implicated as identified as trans people? How many? She wasn't fighting though. It was fighting her. You right. We all know that. Okay. Stop sharing. Hold on. I don't just jump out the window, bitch. Hold on. Stop sharing. Anyway. Okay. So then I made the thing. Then the shade room who never posts me. The shade room who never posts any of my accomplishments, never posts any of the good stuff. Never. They never post me, but they always post.
She was mad because people were implying that one of them at least was transgender. Like I said, I don't know if they were or not. That's the rumor. Now, somebody posted a picture of Dejanay. They posted a picture of Dejanay with someone who looked just like Dejanay. That was a guy. And they were saying that was Dejanay at birth, or, that she was born a male or whatever. Now, I don't know if that was photoshopped or whatever, but T.S. Madison said the photo wasn't real. I don't know how she knows it wasn't real, but she was going hard in the paint and saying all that stuff and calling people, transphobic and all that stuff. I don't know if the photo was edited or not, but my point is, none of us know the entire truth as of yet. So for her to be going so hard in the paint and all of that, I think she needs to sit down somewhere. Because here's the thing. Like I told you all days ago, hold on, let me pull this up. I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this for yourselves. Let me go ahead and share this screen. Because like I said, I don't know if the picture was real or not. But this is what I do know. In the police report, the Mexican authorities clearly said femicide. Okay, they said femicide. Now look at this. Y'all looking, right? Y'all can see this. I'm about to do a Google search. Y'all see this, right? I want y'all to pay attention. Let me see if I can enhance this. Because I just Googled law about femicide in Mexico, 2022. So this is current. It says in 2022, femicide rates have continued on this trajectory, have registered nationwide. Hold on. That's not what hold on. I need the definition. Hold on. Since 2012, let me make sure you all can see this. See if I can enlarge it a little bit more, because I want you all to see this. Now, it says since 2012, Mexico's federal penal code defines femicide as a specific type of homicide in which a woman is murdered on account of her gender. Y'all see that, right? Since 2012, they've had this law for 10 years. Okay, that's what it says. Since 2012, Mexico's federal penal code defines femicide as a specific type of homicide in which a woman is murdered on account of her gender. Now, with that being said, I told you all in the beginning that maybe the rumors about one of them being transgender is true. I said maybe, because why would they use the word femicide? which means that the person was deleted specifically because of their gender. Why would they say that if everybody involved in the fight was females? That's all I'm saying, T.S. Madison. While she was going all off, but hold on. Here's another thing too. You see, there is a known fact. There's a known fact that when things like this happen with the trans community, lies will be told, narratives and agendas will be pushed. This is all, it happened before. Let's get into it because I got the receipts. So if people are questioning that, there's no reason for her to go off. People have questions, just like she has questions. And since none of us know the outcome, people are going to be speculating. But there's no reason for her to go in on Black women, you know, and saying all those hateful things that she was saying and using all those vulgarities and all that stuff. She was really doing too much. But I want y'all to pay attention to this. Now listen to this. And I've mentioned this to you all before, but today I brought the actual receipts. All right. I want y'all to see how they lie. And when I say they, I mean the news media. They spew propaganda to paint certain narratives and push certain agendas. Okay? They love to say that Black folk are so transphobic and homophobic. They love to say that. Meanwhile, most of the hate crimes committed upon that community is done by Caucasian men. That's just what it is. Okay? So now listen to this. Listen to this. Philadelphia man is deleted by or deletes himself after being bullied for dating a trans woman. Now I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this. I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this. Y'all see the title? That's it right there. Okay? All right. Now I'm going to tell you all what this article says. And the guy's name is Maurice Willoughby. They called him Reese. So here's what they were saying initially. They say, our deepest condolences to Faith and also to Reese's family. This is a time to mourn for a lost life and support Faith during this difficult time in her life. She is a survivor of abuse and, as stated on her Instagram, a woman who has lost her lover. Black women are always mourning and caring for the world while trying to keep themselves alive, or love and support. Our love and faith and support, or I'm sorry, our love and support to Faith. Okay, now, they said Willoughby initially went viral on Facebook in a post in which he discussed his girlfriend, Faith, who is trans. And this is what he said. Y'all can say whatever about Faith. I really don't care if she's not passable. I don't care if she wasn't born a woman. She is a woman to me, and I love her flaws. That's what makes her Faith. If you heard her story, it's motivating. I'm happy. You should be happy for me. But after talking about the relationship, Willoughby was bullied both online and in real life, and ultimately featured in another viral video where he was verbally abused for being with a transgender woman. Now, that video did go viral. That video absolutely did go viral. And hold on, let me see if I can show the video. Okay, I'm not going to play the video because it has too many profanities in it, but I said all that to say this. That was the story at first. The story was that he deleted himself because he was being heckled by Black men on the street for dating a trans woman. That's what the story was that they put out on the news media, in articles and all of that. It was all over social media. But here's the truth. Here's the truth. Because I'm just telling you, T.S. Madison, I didn't hear her getting all mad about this story. I didn't hear her saying one word about this story. So now here's the truth. According to Marsha P. Johnson Institute, Maurice Willoughby's demise was the result of an overdose after his girlfriend Faith left him out of fear for her own life. not due to bullying that he suffered after discussing their relationship. Lies. Say what now? Lies were told. Lies were told. Now, I can show this to you all because there's actually more than one article saying this. Now, this is just one article. The one that I just showed you all, Philadelphia man dies, deletes himself after being bullied for dating a trans woman. Well, they give the update. And that's when they say what the ex-girlfriend said. Now, with that all being said, here's another article. Hold on. Let me pull this other one up. Now, this one on blavity.com says girlfriend of 20-year-old harassed over their relationship, said he threatened to delete both of them before overdosing. So that's why he did it, just like she said. Because, thankfully, the girlfriend came out and told the truth. A 20-year-old Philadelphia man who was believed to have deleted himself in part due to cyberbullying passed of an overdose. Okay, he passed away due to an overdose. Hold on, these pop-ups. Hold on. Okay, due to an overdose after his girlfriend broke up with him. And this is according to Marsha P. Johnson Institute. Now, Maurice Willoughby was deceased on Monday after initially reporting that he deleted himself after being relentlessly taunted and cyberbullied for being in a relationship with a transgender woman. The Institute states that the circumstances surrounding his death aren't what they initially seemed. In a Facebook post, the Institute stated that the tragic incident wasn't an instance of a cisgender man being bullied and deleting himself. They said that's not what it was, but rather because his girlfriend left him. Okay, that's what it was. That's what it was. So, and I'll put the link in the chat so you all can read it yourselves. So I said all that to say this. There's the link right there in case you all want to see it yourselves. But I said all that to say this. T.S. Madison, there's no need for you to get that upset and to be going on a whole rant and calling black women all these names and stuff. Okay, and she was specifically talking to black women because she said, you black hoes and bitches. That's what she said. That's what she said. So at the end of the day, what I found interesting was, some of these people are always talking about trans lives matter. Well, yes, they do. Everyone's life matters, or it should. But here's the thing that I thought was interesting. They're always shouting trans lives matter, right? No one was willing to tell the truth other than the girlfriend. All these other people were lying and painting Reese Willoughby as the victim, when in fact he was the abuser. He was the abuser. Okay? He was beating the crap out of this lady, and that's why she left him. And even before he deleted himself, he threatened to delete them both. She said that she left because she feared for her life. Where was all the smoke for him for doing that to her? If they're so concerned, I have so many questions. Okay? I have so many questions. But then T.S. Madison wants to go in because people are saying they heard that one of those people was trans. Well, maybe one of them was. And even if one of them was, that doesn't mean that all trans people are bad, T.S. Madison. So why would you ever get so offended? I'm going to tell you something else that really ticked me off that T.S. Madison said. She said, they're trying to say it was a trans person, but it was one of her own. One of her own? You know why I find that funny? Because T.S. Madison, didn't you say that you were a woman? But now it's one of her own. You see how some of this stuff don't even make sense? You see how some of this stuff don't even make sense? She said that it was one of her own. So what's one of her own? T.S. Madison. What's one of her own? Sit down somewhere. Sit down somewhere. Then she talk about somebody transphobic. Sounds to me like she's the one that has a phobia of biological women. That's what it sounded like. And then she tried to backtrack after people started going in on her, Right. Vince said, exactly, Queen, when it's convenient. Exactly. Here's another thing. And since we're talking about it, let's talk about this. So some people get upset. Some people get upset if you don't, call them a woman and stuff like that or whatever, and then, but here's the thing I don't understand. Well, then why do they turn around and try to expose men like Dwight Howard, like Young Buck, like Sydney Starr when she lied on Chingy, because she admitted she lied. So if you're a woman, why are you sitting there trying to turn around and expose a man? Like, oh, he's sleeping with me and I'm not really a woman. I don't get it. Like, that makes no sense. That just doesn't make any sense to me. That's all I'm saying. Anybody want to get on here and explain? Anybody want to get on here and explain that? Because I don't get it. So you want to sit here and say that you're a woman, but then some of them will go and expose a man and say, oh, well, he's gay. He's this and he's that. Okay, first of all, make it all make sense. Yes, it is confusing. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. But T.S. Madison, she didn't say one word about Reese Willoughby and the lie that was told when he deleted himself and how he was treating his girlfriend, Faith. Didn't say nothing about that. But because people are asking questions and some people were speculating, she got so mad, she just went all in. But then she tried to backtrack because somebody got on there and told her, they said, well, at the end of the day, how do you know what really happened? You weren't there and you didn't go and talk to her family. So how do you even know whether it's true or not? And that's my question. If you don't know if it's true or not, T.S. Madison, why would you be going so hard in the paint? Why don't you just sit back, take a chill pill like everybody else and wait until we get the results? Oh, so crazy. Oh, so crazy. And I'm inclined to believe that, in fact, it was. Because for somebody to body slam her on her neck like that, I have questions. I have questions. So anyway, honey, she's mad, but she'll be all right. But she really let her true colors show, as far as I'm concerned. All that stuff she was saying, how she was just going on that rant and cursing and being so disparaging to Black women. T.S. Madison, you really showed your true colors. Okay, that's all I'm saying. And then she's going to go back later on and try to backpedal later on in the video talking about, I defend Black women, I defend Black men, I do this, I do that. T.S. Madison, sit down somewhere. You already showed us how you really feel, as far as I'm concerned. That's what you did. You won't get any more support from me. I'm just saying. That's what you won't get. All right? That's what you won't get. But so let's talk about this pair that supposedly stood by as a man beats a pregnant woman to death. Let's talk about it. Couple ignored a woman's pleas for help as she was beaten. Now, I talked about this story, but this is the update. Michael and Melissa Burnett are just the latest to be arrested in the brutal deleting of Clarissa Winchester. So it's updated today. So listen to this. The savage beating of a 22-year-old pregnant woman shocked the community of Marietta, South Carolina earlier this month. And now authorities say she might have been saved if one couple had not stood idly by and just ignored her tortured pleas for help. Who does that? Just stands there and watching a pregnant woman getting beaten? Now, Michael Burnett, 43, and Melissa Burnett, 49, were identified by the Greenville County Sheriff's Office on Monday as relatives of the man accused of bludgeoning Clarissa Winchester to death in early September. This is all so sad. Tyler Wilkins, identified in local news reports as Winchester's boyfriend and the father of her baby, has already been arrested and charged with murder and kidnapping for the mother-to-be's death. He allegedly beat her over the course of 2 hours, leaving her with fatal injuries to her head and neck, according to the probable cause affidavit. Now, the Burnetts, according to the sheriff's office, were in the house at the time of the brutal assault, but failed to act. Didn't even call 911, didn't even try to provide any type of assistance, and even as Winchester reportedly screamed for help. Lord have mercy. Who does that? This woman sitting up here pregnant and getting beaten, and they're not doing anything? The couple was booked over the weekend on charges of misprision of a felony, but they have since been released on $20,000 bonds. Now, the Burnetts were described as Wilkins's uncle and aunt in a report. Now, which cited a spokesperson from the sheriff's office. Public records list Michael Burnett as residing at the residence where police say they found Winchester's deceased body along with a lifeless fetus. Winchester was 7 months pregnant at the time of the fatal beating. Police have not said if the baby was stillborn or was born during the deadly attack. But Wilkins is also charged with unlawful conduct toward a child for allegedly failing to seek medical attention for the recently born fetus. The baby was a boy, and Winchester had already named him Grayson. This is also sad, honey. They beat this woman and killed her and her child. Investigators are also eyeing Wilkins in the disappearance of Jordan Nebling, a 19-year-old woman last seen in October of 2020, according to the sheriff's office. So he probably did this before. Sheriff's office investigator Blake Wolf was quoted as telling the state that Nebling was last seen being picked up by her ex-boyfriend. Nebling's stepmother, Mary Tucker, identified the ex-boyfriend as Wilkins. So he probably beat somebody else to death. She says, in my heart, I think he did something to her. Wilkins has not only been charged in connection, or he has not been charged in connection with Nebling's disappearance. He probably beat this woman too, honey. It's no telling. Sounds nefarious. Let me show you the photos of these thugs, because they need to be ashamed of themselves for not even helping that poor woman. Not even helping this poor woman. This is all so sad. Now, these are the Burnetts who were in the house and didn't do anything to assist. Didn't even try to help the poor woman. This is the thug who did it. And that's her right there. That is all so sad. Yes, it's sadistic. Like, who does that? Anyway. That's all so crazy. Yes, absolutely, devils. Absolutely. So anyway, with that all been said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. It is disgusting. And the saddest thing is that two grown people were there. They could have intervened. There was another man there. He could surely have tried to get him off of her. They could have called 911. There's a myriad of things they could have done. But nobody did anything. They just sat there and watched him bludgeon this poor woman to death while she's pregnant. Oh, so sad. Anyway, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning back in once again. Please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word also that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Number one said, thank you, Queen, for our daily dose. You're welcome, beloved. You're welcome. So with that all been said, I hope to see you all in the morning at 9:15 for your morning wake-up call. All right? Wish you all peace, love, and blessings. Everyone enjoy the rest of this lovely night. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
In order for you and me to devise some kind of method or strategy to offset some of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Tamir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man that go nuts if he can't shoot. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, given to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.